No, 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 not a good video today. Ah, guys, very sad day here in the box. Round 2 of ick. Ah. Quick video update of our treatment tank here. If you go back and watch the last video, we were going to try a new product from Fritz to help deal with ick. We had just started yesterday. Unfortunately, this yellow tang did not make it. And I'm not saying that the Fritz product had anything to do with it. The other 2 fish that are here in the tank with ick look really good. But it's unusual that he died. You know, yesterday he did have ick. But he was eating. He was fat and not healthy, but he was fat. He still had some meat to him, and I find with ick and tangs, you really need to start to worry when they stop eating. So if the fish stops eating, you're dealing with a fish that has ick, then you sort of get into trouble. So it could have been just too much stress for the fish. My preferred method of dealing with ick is a little bit different than I think everyone else's. If a tang or a fish has ick in the tank, I usually just leave it. Sorry, the glass is kind of dirty so you can't see too well, but in our coral beds here in the store we have lots of large tangs. So there's a Desjardins, a sailfin, a Scopus, I think that's a coal tang. In each coral vat we keep 5, 6, 7 large tangs because they're great at keeping the tanks super clean. There's also 2 yellow tangs in here. This one's got yellow tangs and Scopus, but every single tang that's here in the store has survived ick at least once. So these are very hardy fish. It's very common for them to get ick, and unfortunately the strong ones live and the ones that can't fight it off, they don't. So over time we're left with this very strong population of almost ick resistant, well, they're not ick resistant, but they're way less prone to getting ick than a regular tang that you'd go and get from a store. So yeah, they've all had ick before, and they've all made it through. So I think the typical recommended thing to do when a fish or a tang has ick is to take it out and quarantine it with copper. I think that's a good thing to do before introducing to your tank. So if you're going to add a new fish, setting up a fish quarantine is great practice. Copper is very effective, but once it's already in your tank, it can be quite hard to catch that fish, and it can be really stressful on the fish. So if this Tomini here were to get ick, I wouldn't take it out. It can cause the fish a lot of stress. You're removing it from the home that's already used to, and a lot of times, more often than not, the fish can battle the ick and can fight it off in the aquarium with a couple different products that I'm going to show you. But I think taking them out causes them a lot of undue stress, and I found that when I do that, I'm always speaking just from my own experience. I know that everyone has different experiences with ick and reef tanks, but in over the years I found that it just stresses them out to the point that a lot of times they don't make it. So I found that leaving them in the tank and just trying to keep them healthy and eating in the tank has worked more often than not for me. So if you're thinking about taking your fish out of a tank to deal with ick, it's quite tricky, one, to catch the fish. If I wanted to actually get these guys out of here, it wouldn't be that easy. And it can cause a lot more stress on the fish than sometimes leaving it. If the fish has ick, it's already present in the system. Some of the other fish may have it and not be showing yet, but my preferred method, I'm not trying to rock the boat, I know that ick is a controversial topic and there are different ways of dealing with it, and like all the videos, I'm always just speaking from my own experience. I usually just leave the fish and grab a Bible and just pray. No, that doesn't work. Well, maybe it does, but what I do is grab this here. This is one of my favorite foods. This is the marine pellets from Vitalis. If you watch the other videos, I'm always loving on these guys. I like all their products, but this is a great, easy to eat food, and it's small. It's not baked, so it's really soft. I think it's one of the only raw pellets on the market today. And then I mix that with these 2 products right here. These are garlic, which helps boost fish's immune system, and it's no coincidence that on the front of the package is a powder blue. That guy is quite a difficult fish to keep. I've never successfully kept a powder blue. If you have, kudos to you, comment below, that's awesome. It's a tricky fish to keep. I feel like that fish single-handedly invented ick. Like the ocean was fine and everyone was happy swimming in this lovely sea of serenity, until this powder blue came along and introduced ick. The guy is it's very hard to keep. But anyways, Garlic Extreme is a cool product here from Kent, and so that helps to keep the fish eating, and it makes the food more appetizing, and it also helps boost their immune system. And then I use this, which is Fish V from Aquaforce. So it's just a mix of vitamins for all overall fish vitality and health. So I do both of those. It's in a dropper mixed with this marine flakes. Sorry, not marine flakes, marine pellets from Vitalis. And my goal, if I see a sick fish, is just try to keep them eating, because usually if you can keep them eating, it'll just help keep their immune system better, and hopefully it's going to help beat whatever the fish is dealing with. Obviously that doesn't always work, and if you go back far enough and you watch some of the videos, earlier or late last year we lost almost all the fish in the system. So my March method of feeding the garlic and the vitality, it didn't work. These fish got some strain of ick that like I've never seen before. It was like the COVID of ick, and it wiped out nearly everything in the tank. Maybe it wasn't even ick. It could have been velvet, it could have been Brucnella, or a combination of things, but it wasn't fun. But I think that's enough for today's video. I just wanted to share, like I've said early on, the good and the bad. You know, not everything in the hobby is peachy and fun, so I'm always going to share with you guys when something does great, like this tank and these torches, and when stuff doesn't work out, like that poor yellow tang that we just lost today. I'm going to do another video next week. I'll still continue to add that Fritz stuff to the quarantine tank, because we have those two other lightning maroon clownfish down there that are sick, just to see if the product works, if it clears up on its own. But as usual, if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, you want to talk about icks or cool Onyx Picasso clownfish or hammers, you know how to reach us. Our info's at the end of the video. My name is March, and this is Fragbox TV.